Hey guys, welcome to another session of Reading Between the Lines, or RBTL. We're gonna do some patch updates. So I was trying to find out what the pronunciation of Cermia is, but basically I was watching the YouTube video here and it was Cermia, but let's say Cermia right now. So Cermia is a fire elemental warrior, has great potential. I think looking at her kit, you know, my first impression is that she's a straightforward damage dealer, on the lines of kind of like Lorena, Commander Lorena, and like Luna. Some straightforward nuker. Seems that all is a single target, all the hits are single target, and it's really just set up for an immense attack. So I kind of wish that we have access to her base stats right now as I'm making this video, but you know, by the time the patch is actually released, we will see them in our heroes journal, so that won't be too much. But I don't think I can really comment on what kind of build you want to make her until I see some of the base stats. But most likely, if you're running her in PvE and even PvP, speed meta is everything. So technically, you know, you probably get her from like 150, 160 speed all the way to like, I don't know, maybe 170, 180. Depends, but you also do want to focus on attack, high critical hit rate, and also critical hit damage, which is the bare fundamentals. The only thing that I see here from her kit, and which we're going to go through it, is that she may not need too much effectiveness. Effectiveness would be a little bonus, but I would say she probably won't need it. Depending on her, also her base HP, being a nuker, it would probably be good that you would build her as someone with high HP as well, so in bruiser territory. But again, depending on her base HP, we might not see really high HP if you're going for high damage. So if you look at the skills here, so S1 attacks with a flaming sword with a 55% chance, but a maximum of 75%. So that tells me at least maybe there's two skill enhancement potentials, maybe at 10% each, so maximum of 75% chance to make a target unhealable for one turn. This is why I'm thinking that you know, her effectiveness may not be her strongest role here. Another thing to note, that we are in sort of the ice meta right now in PvP and GVG. People running Kisei, DN, of course, Luna, some of the basic ones, Crow. Of course, you can say that, oh yeah, there's always earth and fire heroes, but I would say ice is at quite used. Angelica, of course. So being a fire nuker, you know, you have a 50% chance to actually miss your target facing a weaker elemental. So you know, if you want to even enhance that S1, again, depending on the skill modification, I don't think it's that worth it even to invest it. A 55% chance is actually high enough in and of itself, but the unhealable for one turn is not too great. So it's kind of good. It alleviates that stat that is needed when you are building her. So you probably don't need to pack too much effectiveness on her. Like I said, it's a bonus to have, and you know, sometimes it can be a clutch. You know, like someone can outlive you with one single heal. If you make them unhealable for that turn, it can make or break. So I'm kind of on the fence about this. If I was building her, I may not go with effectiveness. Anyways, I think really she strives on her S3 and her S2. So let's take a look at that S2 there. We're going to take a look at the After Awakening description only, since like I said in all my videos, awakening them should be no problem. So shoots fire, granting caster an increased attack greater, resetting the cooldown all in, and then granting an extra turn. I'm not quite sure what the increased attack greater means. I've been seeing this a lot. I think from the specialty change of Hazel, we've seen that she can grant attack increase greater for fire elemental heroes, or one single damage dealer. Now I'm not quite sure what that means in percentage. I think it can go up as high as 75% increase attack, which can make her extremely powerful. Okay, so yeah, Terra confirmed that it's a higher buff. Yeah, so than a regular attack buff, but it shouldn't stack with a regular attack buff. That's what my understanding is. So, but it would take the greater amount. So if she goes with the S2, no attack buff from any other hero should be able to make her even stronger. I don't even think Hazel's buff would make her stronger, but again, I'm not quite sure exactly how how different if they stack, since Hazel's buff is for a fire hero, but I think it's the same type of attack buff, so I don't believe she gains any benefit from it. So ideally, Cermia will gain the most from her own S2. It also resets the cooldown of all in, granting an extra turn. Also notice the cooldown, you can see that the lowest is 4, so that means you can upgrade it. You can upgrade the turn cooldown with the Malagor enhancements. Hey Doopy, welcome. And then S3 is very, very good. Attacks with the Blazing Inferno, penetrating defense by 50%. The soul burn is very cheap. 10 souls, like I said, if you run a mage in this, you have an instant on turn 1. You can soul burn it, and it increases the damage dealt. Which you can see that if you wanted to, for first turn kill or one turn kill, one shot, you can most likely run her maybe with a speed CR booster. You probably don't need another buff, but let's say a defense break, a solid defense break on like someone like Falconer Cleary. So Falconer Cleary is Earth, very meta right now in the arena and GVG. You can most likely do an S2, soul burn it if you have a mage on the team, and just wipe her out in one turn. I'm pretty sure you can kill her in one shot. Now even without the defense break, I think she can still do it. With a greater attack buff, 50% of penetrating the defense. So if a Cleary has, let's say, 1200 defense, which is quite high for fast Clearys, you would reduce that down to 600, which means nothing in PvP. And then of course you can soul burn it, and increases the damage dealt. The only possible way that she can possibly outlive it is maybe like a 15,000 HP with another side tank running Aureus at a max level, 20% damage reduction. Otherwise I don't really see it possible. So this is a very, very insane nuker. Someone was mentioning on Discord this morning that she would be pretty good if she could be used for Golem. And I would definitely say I agree. Like if Luna was like a Wyvern Hunter, I think she would be like a Golem Hunter, like a very, very fundamental one. You run all fire heroes, like Tenebria to break, or any other breaker, even Cleary can work. Have Hazel in there just for heals and buffs for your other teammates, but she can really sustain on herself. You know what? Actually, just looking at her kit, I'm actually theory crafting and brainstorming other sets that she can really benefit from. Judging by her damage output, I really think that she can benefit from a lifesteal set to keep her alive and sustained. That can work, I think, for PvE and PvP content. So that's actually just something I just thought of. I didn't really think about that. Otherwise, I would have like recommended maybe go for triple crit sets if you're lacking on crit substats. Anything like a destruction set with a crit set would work too, but I'm actually really leaning toward this lifesteal set. I think she can really benefit from it, especially if you have the Abyss lifesteal set, the level 85 ones. Depending how you roll those, it could be really high HP, there's decent speed on it, there's decent critical hit chance, and there's health. So I think that can be a really easy build. If you pull for her and you have that set, that can be thrown on her immediately just to try out. I really think that she actually benefit from it. The new artifact I wanted to talk about as well, Border Coin. From my reading of it, I really do think that these artifacts are really made for the hero that's released along with them. And for this one, I would say almost for sure. So at a level 30, sorry. Level max level, so that's a plus 30 enhancement. You get a 15% increased attack when using a non-attack skill. I was talking with the guys on stream as well, and I was thinking that you know, Terry just also proved me wrong. Yeah, okay, fine. He says that Idle Cheer is better on Angelica than someone like Tamarine. Okay, fine. Jeez, these guys, man, they're right. They're right though. So I have to admit that. But for her, I really do think she really benefits from this one. I would say all warrior artifacts currently probably won't give her as much benefit as her own artifact right now. Since if you read it, it says increases attack on the next turn by 15% when using a non-attack skill. I was asking the guys on Discord as well, and I do think that this reads like a buff like Wind Rider. So Wind Rider, you get an increased attack after you kill someone, but it's not an attack buff in the sense that you don't get that buff icon, so you can't get it debuffed. Like once it happens, it happens. The only thing is that increased attack on the next turn is that if she goes and somehow actually doesn't do a hit, I'm talking about other warriors in this sense, doesn't do a hit immediately and you get stunned, you lose that buff because it counts as your turn, the next turn. But for her, because she can set up with her S2, giving herself another turn, she can really benefit from this. So, you know, even if you get it at a plus 15, so if you don't have other copies of this artifact, I think as high, you can get as high as 10%, if I'm not mistaken, just judging by the calculation there. As high as 10% attack. Now, like I said, keep in mind that that does stack with an actual buff, so a buff with a buff icon. So her S2, it will stack with that, so an additional 10%. And then you count that 50% defense ignore, it makes her an incredible damage dealer. Again, judging by her, depending on her modifications, this can be as deadly as someone like Luna in terms of a straightforward attack. Even if you get her to like the 3000 attack, and let's say 220%, 250% critical hit damage, if you calculate Luna's S2, let's say even a maxed out S2 at a 30% increased attack passive, I think she can almost 1-for-1 if they're facing you know, heroes that they have a higher elemental advantage to. 1-for-1, I think she can actually outdo more damage than Luna. Self kit though, without heroes supporting them. Yeah, Alin Rav, he says, I take it as this is a 15% of the total attack. I think so. Even if it's, yeah, 15% of your base attack wouldn't really do much in my opinion. I think it's a 15% of total attack you get her to. So I think like very, you know, minimal requirements, 3k attack is what you're looking for, 220 to 250% critical hit damage or higher, and I think she can outdo more damage than Luna in her own kit, which makes it kind of cool. I actually kind of like that aspect because, you know, Luna is so OP, but she's a limited hero. So if my estimation is correct that she can output more damage or equivalent damage to Luna, this would definitely be an interesting one. But again, I do think that it depends on her skill modifications, so we'll see more when that information is released. Sword of Ezera, this is a new artifact again. We can hunt for this one, so we can actually grind for this one. 5-star, it's a free one, and it's actually pretty good. I think this is kind of interesting that they give these elite boss artifacts. So in the previous event, challenge event, we got Ludwig's event, which is a mage artifact that does up to a 50% more damage to elite bosses and monsters. That means all types of bosses that you run into, including hunts. So Golem, Wyvern, Banshee, and even that new bug guy, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but raids, hell raids of course, will come in handy I think, but it does only work on one hero. So you can see that when this effect is granted more than once, only the strongest effect is applied, which means that you can't stack you know all 4 of your heroes with this and manage to outlive. So there's no point of grinding more than one of these I think, in terms of to keep. I would definitely recommend grinding this all the way to the max enhancement and then just enhance it over time. But this will really help I think some players, especially newer players, if they're having a hard time fighting some of the new hunts. This specifically would be very good for Wyvern. Now do note that it is a knight exclusive artifact, so if you are trying to run a healer tank in front that can't sustain the damage of Wyvern right now, you do need to kind of build a tank so a knight. A 30% reduction is incredible. It's the most damage mitigation you can see from any type of artifact right now. And keep in mind that's not a defense increase, so like Noble Oath, it increases your defense as your health goes lower, but this is a straight to damage mitigation, so ignores 30% of that damage if you max enhance it, of course. So 15% will already make a big difference. You think about that, Wyvern attacks 3 times and 15% ignored from each hit. That's a total of 45% damage that you've reduced, which is a ton of damage. So most likely you can run like any 5-star tank, geared relatively okay, maybe 12,000 HP, 1,000 defense, and you know, if you get this leveled even just at a 15%, I'm pretty sure you can out heal it if you run 2 healers, if that's what you're going for. But there's a lot of ways to run Wyvern. I myself will probably not use this, especially for a Wyvern run, and because it's only to the knight and only one person can use it, I don't know how much I'll use this for my other content, but who knows, you know, it's good to have, and I do plan to grind it up to the max enhancement. So let's see here, I'm gonna skip down what I think. So we got a new event, of course. I'm not gonna cover this. This is self-explanatory, won't really require my manpower, my brain. So we got a new challenge event. So if you are new, you probably never seen this epic hell difficulty. The last time we got epic hell difficulty was first introduced when Xeno was released. So judging by this, now 2 events with hell difficulty, it seems that any 5-star base, either artifact or hero that you can grind for, they will release an epic hell difficulty for, which is kind of interesting. Now that there's been some time between the Xeno event and this one, I want to try to get the epic hell difficulty done. I just want to challenge myself to do it. For the Xeno one, I was just not really ready for, but we'll have to see, because apparently it seems that you're going to be fighting 2 waves of bosses. So one, you're going to be fighting Cermia with Elson. Oh frick, man, I didn't see Elson when I was like briefly reading this. Okay, I'm gonna try to do epic hell difficulty, but I promise you, if that Elson kills me at epic hell difficulty, you're gonna hear me rage. People who know me from the beginning, from the get-go, you really know that I hate Elson because he was meta in Arena for a time, really hard to kill. But now he's back to to challenge me. I'm so pissed off, man. Freaking Elson. Oh yeah, I will do hell difficulty. Hopefully I can beat it. And then Charles, which is cool because I really liked Charles as a hero. I'm using him a lot even in Arena right now, and it would be interesting to fight him at hell difficulty. I'm pretty sure they get because they're bosses, they get new skills that they won't get in their hero counterpart, so don't expect the same kind of battle that you would counter in PvP or GVG. Hey Sir Drake, Sir Drake 2K, hey man, welcome. Hey, were you the guy that joined Discord yesterday? I'm just gonna leave that question out there live on stream. Okay, so you can see the rates here. So you do get 1 extra artifact if you do beat the hell difficulty. I think they actually say it down here. Yeah, so if you clear the epic hell difficulty, you get 1 of them for free. I'm gonna highlight that. If you clear 10 times on any difficulty, you get 1 for free. So you would need, I think, 6 copies of the actual artifact in order to max enhance it. So if you can complete it on hell difficulty, you're probably not even watching this news video, to be honest, but if you can complete it, you get 2 of it right there, so that's pretty easy. But you get a 50% drop rate. I think the drop rates are up here. Yeah, 50% drop rates for the epic hell difficulty, and hell is 20. Hard at 7%. I would definitely say, in my experience now grinding a couple of these challenge events, grinding hard seems to be the best bang for buck. In terms of, you just feel that you're getting them easier. I don't know, you know, honestly the numbers tell you different, but hell is so much easier in terms of just like the time spent on it, the energy spent on it. You are getting less percentage of a drop rate per energy when you just grind on hard, but because you can set up and rerun it way quicker and most likely run it on auto, it's way better. In my opinion, like my experience is like hell difficulty eats your energy, and then sometimes you just don't get any drops. 20%, man, it's like 1 out of 5 chance. You could just roll the worst luck. But you know, when you're running a 7% chance, you're just like, whatever. It's kind of just like going after some random loot when you're farming your farming runs. So I think grinding hard rather is probably my choice if you guys are new and you guys are you know, looking for tips. Hey, congrats, Ice. Hard was the way you went when you grinded for Xeno. Yeah, I know. The thing was, like, when I was doing Xeno, I was doing hell for the longest time. I didn't get any drops. Grinded hard for, like, you know, a couple runs, and I'm like, crap, I just got them all. And then from then on, I kind of, like, proved that ease with the other challenge events that came after Xeno. So yeah, I would definitely recommend grinding on hard. Okay, let me see here. I don't think we need to cover anything else. Yeah, I think that was it. So I'm gonna just kind of wrap up on the top here. Anyways, this being more of a banner review or the unit review, I do think that Cermia has very, very high potential, especially if you are lacking fire heroes, DPS damage dealers. I myself, I'm kind of on the fence because there is a limited banner coming, at least based on the developers' notes. It's coming around mid-April. I think that's the plan, which is about a month from now. So if you are free to play or you have limited resources, I don't know, you can give a couple bookmarks here and there. But as you can see, the trend with Epic 7 is that every hero is actually really good. So you'll find uses for them. So it's kind of like, she's not a must-have, but she's a very, very nice to have as a fire damage dealer. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it. If you guys have any thoughts on it, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below on YouTube here. And thank you for the guys on stream attending this live stream. And I'm gonna end this here. So if you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.